So you've been dating for a while, or you're married to a spouse, and then you find out their sense of sensibility, of sensitivity, of appreciation of things like finer refinements of art, music, dance, drama, paintings, poetry, prose, literature. The refined sense of art that we have is quite different to yours. What are we talking about here? We are talking about conscious relating, the way you relate to your partner, your better half, your intimate partner. We are focusing on these areas specifically. We'll go one by one through different playlists, but right now we are talking about conscious relating. What does that mean? And we have covered some ground on this. You can see the previous ones in this playlist. When I speak of conscious relating, it simply means you know where your basic astrological propensities and directions are, how you are moving energetically with respect to different planets, different houses, all the rest of it, and how you can discover where the karma is. Karma meaning not necessarily a bad thing over here, okay? I don't see karma as something bad. It's something that you're born with all the good and the bad together in one box from the past life. Where the planets solidify in your chart and is where you will see the partner's karma more and more. And we are talking about intimate relationships, love, romance, these kinds of aspects between two people over here. Okay, specifically these aspects. And which are the houses like we spoke of in the earlier ones in this playlist? The second house, the third house, the fourth house, fifth house, seventh house, and the eighth house, which you see in the human figure in the top right hand bit. On this top left hand bit, I have marked the same thing as 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Right? And I have shaded those boxes with different color codes for ease of understanding. Now we'll take a journey of Venus. Venus, you got to understand some things before we go into the different houses and see how it is. From a Vedic astrological point of view, and which is not there in Western astrological point of view, this is a differing point, not being judgmental about anything. In Vedic astrology, art, Venus, sense and sensibility about sensuality, about harmony, balance, elegance, gracefulness. The list is there of Venus: affection, friendliness, love, gentleness, sociability, harmony, refined sensuality, which we all have. It just depends upon where it's arranged. It's not like somebody is not having it. Maybe somebody is not paying attention to it, or never cared about it, or they were never encouraged by their parents or their family or their spouse in it, but they still have it. Venus has to be somewhere in everybody's chart, right? So what we are talking about Venus in terms of Vedic astrology is also in terms of being sharp, in terms of being fierce, in terms of being transformative. Transformation through refined way of addressing art. Just think of this on another line, for example. Everything in the history, if you study, all cultures, all countries, if you study the historical perspective, Renaissance in the field of art, in the field of architecture, in the field of creativity, music, dance, drama, theater, this area that we are so focused on, and every culture, great culture, civilization has focused a lot on this aspect. Even language is basically an art form. There are so many different languages even here in India. The language, dance, drama, art, architecture, music, all of these things we are talking about, these are the traits of Venus. Okay, this is what the Venus energy provides. This is the higher aspect of Venus, which is Neptune also adds to. But never mind. What does this create? This creates transformation. That part is not there in Western astrology, I'm afraid. That part is covered in Vedic astrology in very deep way. Art is transformative to each and every one of us. If you participate with any kind of art form, it is transforming you. That's why creativity is so important. It is constantly transforming you. Whether you make a modern art of some kind, whether you throw some memes on a wall, whether you throw some murals, make murals, abstract art, music of different kinds. It is transforming you in a very deep and profound way. You listen to a nice piece of music, it transforms your mood. What is this quality of Venus? That's what we are talking about. So think about this. And the three nakshatras of Venus are also very fierce in nature. The Bharani, which comes in Aries, and they all fall in fire signs. First is Bharani Nakshatra, which falls in the second aspect of Aries. Then comes Purva Falguni in Leo. Then comes Purva Ashada in Sagittarius. These are all ruled by fire signs, and the nakshatras themselves are fierce. So there's a fierceness to the nature of Venus, you might say. That nature is in the way it produces transformation. This is the reason why Venus in the 8th house, which is marked over here, and the 12th house over on top in the chart, becomes very transformative for a person. They might make art forms which are transformative, okay? Right, I got carried away a lot. Let me just quickly go through now the transformative power of Venus and what Venus provides. And just to end it there, Venus is also the natural benefic. Only one of the two natural benefics. After Jupiter, Venus is the only natural benefic. It doesn't provide harm anywhere, okay? So let's go to the first one. From second house, Venus looks at the 8th house. We are only talking about opposite aspects. What does this provide these people? Great love of being near family, enjoying family assets, wealth, food and love, great need to indulge in eating sweets, wine, collecting art, earning money through art galleries or singing, need to have a sense of comfort, love from family. They want harmony in the family, okay? They want to be lovable in all relationships, especially with even in-laws because it's looking at the 8th house. A sense of comfort in their company. Venus looking from 3rd house to the 9th house, passion towards media, performing arts, writing, healing people, lots of affairs. 3rd house is the beginning of sexual desire, remember. One night stands, quick ones, changing fast, quick romantic flings type, not a stable long-term type. You might have known this kind of people. Then Venus in the 4th house, looks at the 10th house, loves being in a beautiful homely environment. Venus is a good karaka of the home front. It loves nice decorations in the house, nice paintings, nice sculptures, potted plants, flowers, you name it, perfumes, perfumed candles and so on. Venus loves all these finer forms. Venus is transformation through beauty, basically. So it's a kind of form. Loves being in a beautiful homely environment, express creativity, seeking creative output in career. Why? It's looking at the 10th house. Engaged in improving career by bringing the zeal of creativity. Venus will work to be creative in the work front, which is for most part what men are engaged is very dry, right? But this Venus in a man's chart is very nice because it brings creativity to the work environment, sensitivity to the work environment. Okay. In the 5th house, Venus looks at the 11th house, which provides us what? Or your partner. This might be you or your partner. Try making a connection with the sensitive parts between you and your partner. Very, very crucial. If you're not tuning yourself to the sensitivity of your partner, there's no point in any kind of love and romance or whatever it is that you're going to do, except maybe produce a bunch of babies. But otherwise, you're not enjoying it. The idea in conscious relating is to enjoy what you're doing, okay? Creative self-expression, lots of it, lots of creative self-expression. Why? 5th house stands for creative intelligence. That's the gut over there, navel chakra. See there, creative identity, self-discernment, creative intelligence on the right side, the human being. May be educated in social arts, okay? Social media, sorry. They may be educated in the field of arts because it's sitting in the field of education. They might be giving a lot of creative teaching and education to their children. Participation in a lot of social media. Why? Because it's looking at the 11th house of social media. Fine arts, romance and love with people from larger world. This is the larger community, social media. The internet is 11th house. The internet beginnings is the 3rd house. When you start participating is the 3rd house. When you're going with all kinds of .coms and YouTube channels and your podcasts, that is 11th house, okay? Creative in romance, they can be very creative in romance, as in courtship. In the seventh house, main focus is on marriage because seventh house is the house of spouse. They are very focused on their spouse. Nice to have a partner person with Venus in the seventh house. They'll be really focused on you. Business partnerships also, because seventh house also stands for business partnerships. These people might make good jewelers, art and crafts which are selling online, making pieces of jewelry, homemade art and crafts, embroidery, that kind of stuff. It's good in a woman's or a man's chart for that matter. Seeks harmony in married lives. Loves relating to people, spouse, may even be a business person. These people are so people oriented, Venus in the seventh house, that they do very well in people kind of business. Shopkeepers, jewelers, florists, gems making of all kinds. They want the finer side and they want to always deal with people. And they are good at home front also with their spouse also, because it's the seventh house. Okay. In the eighth house, this is where Venus gets the full power of transformation. Great interest in secret affairs. Everything about eighth house is originally Scorpio. It's secretive. Also death and rebirth because it's a transformation house. I would call it transformation for Venus. Darker expression of sexuality. Meaning what? These people, if they are indulgent or take art and creative arts as their profession, painters, sculptures, any kind of art form, they might lend a feature of darker form of sexuality to it, like M.F. Hussain, classical Indian fellow. He used to have darker expressions of it, like even some of the Picasso ones, darker expressions of feminine sexuality. See, why they might have Venus in their eighth house. Maybe express art with creativity, may suffer a great deal of heartbreaks. This is ups and downs. Not a nice place for Venus, but that's where Venus becomes transformative. Remember what I spoke of, Venus as the catalyst for transformation through engagement with beauty, sensitivity, art forms, music, dance, drama. So it will bring transformation in the self, Venus in the eighth house, definitely. But that kind of transformation will only explode the sensitivity and creativity and creative passion in the person. So these people, through life, they may become powerful artists in such a way that they may become even famous. If the rest of the chart is showing that way, they might become famous throughout the world. They might change a cultural backdrop of an entire country, the way you think. Just go and see the Venus, how it has created different art forms and different music even if you take the transformation of music in America from the 60s till today, how much it has transformed culture in decades, right? That's the power of Venus, transformation through beauty, not through violence, it is through beauty. Okay, Venus does it softly but yet powerfully nonetheless. This is the hidden aspect of Venus. Next, we shall check on Mercury because of the next Rajasic planet, and which will affect the area of conscious relating and you with your spouse, lover, everything, etc. So try to connect with Venus in your chart, in your partner's chart, examine it, study it. If you want to plot your chart Vedic style, you can go to astrosage.com. They will give you a free birth chart, and you can check where your Venus lies, where your partner's Venus lies. Okay? Take care, be safe, have a good day.